Hiya, clean and green humans. Happy almost New Year. So I love how everyone, well, not everyone, but how many people are posting their reflections over the last year. And I've never done that. So I wanted to share the impact that I've been working on and have had with 53 amazing people, some that are in this group, that wanted to add health into their lives and used me as their resource. There are multiple life events that have contributed to my new mission in life to spread health. And I'd have to say that one of the strongest was the sudden death of my brother, Brett, 8 years ago. At age 29, his body was unable to fight pneumonia. I was 27 at the time, and I wasn't far from living the lifestyle that he lived. I was a smoker of 10 years. I was a frequent wine drinker. I was a TV-aholic. I barely drank water. I really didn't have a lot of thought behind what I was truly doing to my body, my organs, my mental health, my overall health. As you would assume, my perspective drastically changed. I had to change. I had to be honest with myself. And the truth was, I was choosing to not live a life of health. So I started seeking out different influencers and motivators. And over time, I learned what a growth mindset meant. So my first step towards a healthier lifestyle was working out, which is many people's first step. When you work out, you sweat, so you got to replenish the 87% of water that you're made of. So I started to take more water in. And then I eventually quit smoking. So it was 11 years total. Addictions are real. People that are addicts, you know what I'm talking about. And then I started to look at food as fuel instead of the daily overindulgence that I had used it as. And then a year ago, I discovered my next influencer, which was the research on gut health, which many of you may have seen on the social or on the Google. Maybe it's just me because that's a lot of things that I research, but it is connected to your mental health, your appearance of your skin, your sleep patterns, your energy levels, like everything. And it's quite fascinating, to me at least. And then a few months after I started discovering gut health, a good girlfriend of mine, she just finished her second round of chemo with breast cancer. And her doctors influenced her to start living cleaner, clean up her products that she was using. Obviously, we all know about deodorant and its connection to increasing your risk for cancer. But I mean, everything, toothpaste, hand soap, body wash, cosmetics, everything. So she started cleaning that up and her nutrition. So she asked me to do this 30-day clean eating challenge to reduce inflammation. And at that point, I felt like I was eating pretty clean. So she gave me some information. I went to an info session with a naturopathic physician that was coaching everyone on this 30 days. And it was all about gut health and reducing inflammation. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. I'm in. So I did that. And over, the last so many months, I've been talking to different medical experts and physicians. And we've had the discussion on the correlation between possibly my brother's gut health and his inability to fight pneumonia. 29 years old, up to 80% of your immune system response comes from the health of your gut. And your gut is multiple organs that are actually housing trillions of different types of microbes. And feeding those microbes, they actually add health to you. So they allow your system to work optimally. So what is health? Balance, ease, and what is the opposite of health? Imbalance or dis-ease, disease. And what could create this imbalance or disease? Well, According to the standard American diet, without following the laws of nature, we take in many artificial dyes, artificial sweeteners, artificial flavors, GMOs, insecticides, pesticides, fungicides. The animals that we're consuming have hormones put into them, along with antibiotics that change their health, which in turn changes humans' health that consume them, and the stress that they're living. You know how stress affects us as humans? It also affects the health of the animals that people are eating. And then that translates into inflammation in our bodies. Then there's allergenic foods. Soy is a top agricultural ingredient in a lot of our processed foods. Soy, if it's not organic, it's got GMOs. And then the gluten craze. Everyone's seeing gluten-free become more of a thing because people have actually reduced it from their intake for a period of time to see what it's actually doing to them. And some people are finding, not everyone, that it's inflammatory to their system. Because gluten is the glue inside of different types of processed foods, not all bad processed foods, pasta, chips, crackers, things like that. It's also in a lot of other things like soy sauce. Gluten is in soy sauce. A lot of research is saying that the gluten actually holds onto the chemicals that are used. So yeah, chemicals and lengthening of processing, that again is going against the laws of nature. So that's why more and more people are looking for a gluten-free option, because they reduced it, found that it was inflammatory, and decide that, yeah, I'd rather not have that issue that I had in my body when I do take in gluten. And then there's dairy. Dairy is another food that may be inflammatory, may not be. Lots of studies prove one thing, then prove the other. And that's because every body is different. Your microbes inside you are all different from each other. And so it's how you're feeding those microbes. How are they bringing you health? Is that inflammatory to them? Is it helping them bring health to you? Something to think about. The body will do everything in its power to find the balance and the freedom and the health. And if health isn't prevalent, the body's going to compensate. So if we keep doing what we're doing, we keep getting what we're getting. And all of those items I just listed, all the added items from artificial flavors, dyes, all the way to inflammatory foods, keep building in your system, and they could be toxic. And so the body will protect the most vital organs: the brain, the heart, and the liver. So the body takes those toxins and puts them in fat cells. Fat cells are like bubble wrap for some toxins. Over time, the overload of those toxins takes a toll on the endocrine system. Nerd alert, the endocrine system is where hormones are produced and secreted to promote growth, metabolism, and sexual function. And when that gives way, eventually the vital organs will be affected, which then leads to a diagnosis, aka disease. So it's like the body's in this state of, I'm trying so hard, I'm trying the hardest that I can, and then balance is lost. And symptoms happen. And symptoms can show up in lots of different ways from inflammation. Migraines and headaches were one thing for me. Skin issues were another thing for me. Acne, eczema, some other inflammatory issues on the skin. Could look like sleep issues, insomnia, joint pain, back pain. IBS was another thing for me. IBD, which is this constant cycle of gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation. It could be thinning of hair, nails, loss of energy, fatigue, brain fog, decline in sexual interest, excessive worry or anxiety was another symptom for me. Irritability, mood swings, cravings. And a thing about cravings, again, it's what the microbes inside you are wanting to eat. So if you're taking in inflammatory foods that are not serving you, and feeding the negative bacteria, they want more. They want more and more and more of that. That's what addiction is as far as sugar goes. We know, we've all heard of the sugar addiction. So it's that overload of negative bacteria. If we feed the good bacteria, the good microbes that are craving healthy stuff that we tend to not always want to take in, then those cravings deplete and lessen over time. But it takes breaking a bad habit, replacing it with a good habit, and then finding health. So how do we do that? How do we add health? Follow the laws of nature. So number one, food. Again, we're not plants. We can't photosynthesize our food. We have to consume it from the outside world. It is essential for us to add health by food. Number two, movement. Our bodies are made up of hinges, pulleys, and levers. So we should use them. We should move around. Use those parts of your body. Number three, drinking. Water, the 78% that you're made up of and that we often do not replenish, so we are feeling poopy because of it. Number four, sleep in total darkness. Who's read about that? Interesting. And number five, eliminate. Both physically, very healthy, and emotionally, also incredibly healthy. Number six is play. Be grateful. You're alive. Who cares? I'm 36. Moving on up. I'm taking care of myself. My goal is to be able to, that's why I do tons of squats, be able to get up out of a chair, out of bed, out of a car when I'm 93 years old. That is my goal, and it's going to happen. What's your goal? What do you want to do when you're older? I also want to have my teeth outlive me. That's the dental hygienist in me. And then how can we reduce or eliminate disease? The body is actually naturally made up to detox itself. So the kidneys reduce inflammation by urinating. And so many people complain that drinking water makes them pee. Well, peeing is a way for your body to find health. So everybody pee. Don't hold it in. Number two, the GI, the gastrointestinal system, through feces. A weird topic to talk about, but shows a lot of health. You can read your poop. It tells you a lot. And the lungs, we eliminate toxins by breathing. So the deeper the breath, the cleaner your lungs become. And then skin, we eliminate by sweating. A lot of people complain about that too, but it's healthy. Nothing wrong with it. Just take a shower. Our body is set up to detox itself through those important organs, but are we truly supporting them to work optimally? With our nutrition, how can we figure out which foods are bringing us health and which foods are creating inflammation? How about take a break from the inflammatory foods for a period of time? For a period of time. Put one hand out and put your life, quality of life, your health in one, and then put your other hand out and put all those inflammatory foods on that hand and then weigh them. Which is more important to you? Your health may not be that important to you. That's your prerogative. You are totally allowed to have that motive. For those that do want to improve their health, taking a period of time, a break, allowing the body to rest, repair, and reboot, and then adding inflammatory foods back in one at a time, and listening. Now that your body is kind of decompressed and you've allowed it to clearly talk to you, take a food in, see what your body tells you. It will tell you, this is working for me, or no, it's not. A headache will pop up. Your back will start hurting you again. Your skin will start breaking out. Your mood will start swinging. You'll be tired throughout the day like you weren't days before. So it's going to tell you, and I mean, it's not always GI issues. Yeah, that says a lot, but it can come up in many different ways. Again, the body is all attached. It's not all going to come up as one specific symptom. When you reduce toxins from coming in and then also add health, you're changing the environment inside, what we call the microbiome, the trillions of microorganisms that live inside you and want to work with you. So in this environment, inflammation decreases. And like we learned, toxins are stored in fat cells. So a byproduct of this cleaner eating, healthy jumpstart is often weight management. It's a plus. It's called a nutritional rebalance. And that's what I've been working on with these 53 amazing people this past year. 30 days to start. Everyone's got different goals. It's a great way to simply move into a healthier lifestyle, something that lasts as long as you do. Because again, the work is never done, not until we're literally in the ground. So if a healthy lifestyle is something that you want to work towards and you don't know where to start or where to go, use me as your resource. I freaking love this stuff and I love sharing it with people and I love making a difference. Are you living the way the best version of you would? Are you eating the way the best version of you would? Because if you're not taking care of your physical body, then how are you going to reach that best version of you? I would love to help you get there. I would love to be your wellness coach the whole way. Let's do this. Message me to find out more. I'd love to share what I know and what I continue to learn. Happy New Year.